We have driven about 400 miles from our home in the Willamette Valley, and we are nearing the trailhead where we'll get out and hike up the trail and try to find us one of the big buck deer that hang out up above. We reach the trailhead, strap on our packs, and we're ready for a deer hunt. We hike along the Snake River for about 3 miles. The trail is pretty good, although it's quite a bit ups and downs to it, but we'll make it in next to no time. It'll just be Dwayne, Stephen, and myself, and we're trying to get up the trail before darkness sets in on us. We got a plenty early start in the morning, so maybe we'll be able to make a good spot to camp tonight, because the next day is the first day of deer season. Finally, we reach the spot where the trail starts climbing up to bench level of the Snake River Canyon, the deepest canyon in the northern hemisphere, and we're going about halfway up it. After leaving the Snake River, we start our climb, nothing but upward for the rest of the day. We find a spot and rest a little bit as we reach a spot slightly above the river. We better make every second of that rest count, because from now on it'll be nothing but uphill as we leave the Snake River behind us and zigzag our way up this trail up the canyon wall. The sun is steadily setting in the western sky, and we're losing light in a hurry as we finally reach the summit of the bench of Hell's Canyon. Here we'll set up a real quick camp and use it for the rest of our trip. It's a place known as Plum Springs, and that's a favorite spot for bear to come and eat the wild plums. We're crowding daylight as we finally get our camp set up, and we're going to get a quick night's sleep, and we'll be up at first light in the morning heading upward to see if we can find one of the big bucks that frequent the area up on top of the bench of Hell's Canyon. By light the next morning, we're up on the bench looking for the old buck, and he's got to be here someplace. There's always some nice big old bucks up here as the sun steadily creeps skyward in the eastern sky. The big Spring Creek Basin is spread out before us with a little grove of ponderosa right before it starts going upward. We go past the ponderosas, over the summit, and to the McGraw Creek to see if there's a bear or a deer around the old orchard, which is right below us. We scan all the hillsides and even sit and wait a little bit to see if something comes out, but nothing comes out, so we're back hiking again. We go through a patch of butterfly mullein. These are a favorite feed of deer, grouse, and most everything loves the seeds of the butterfly mullein, and they're on the old homestead where they used to cut hay. We walk to the farthest edge of the bench and peer over into McGraw Creek, and still no big buck deer standing here waiting for us as we scan the rugged McGraw Creek Canyon, where there was one time a trail and it's washed out now. Then we move clear on top of the bench, and here some mysterious old sinkholes are. Then we go by a ponderosa tree where there's an Indian grave. The Indians used to bring their braves and warriors up from down along the river where they camped and bury them right up here on the bench where their spirit can see the rest of the world. This is indeed the happy hunting ground. As we look at this Indian grave, there are several of them up here. Now,
those MRIs?
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd your hunt go today?
Kind of got screwed over.
What did you see?
A bunch of big bear.
How many?
4.
Oh, how come we're not skinning one now?
Because I didn't feel like tracking blood for like 5 miles. Well, I only tracked it for like a mile.
Well, tell us about the hunt where you saw the bear. Where were they?
They were over right on the McGraw side of Spring Creek.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And what did you see? You saw Fatso first, right?
Yeah, I was shot 12 rounds at Fatso a few years ago.
And there he was again.
Yeah, you shot about the same amount at him.
Yeah.
And
so how many rounds do we have left now?
3.
3 rounds left to finish our hunt?
Yeah.
And we haven't got anything yet.
Yeah, we used 19.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Dwayne? What'd you see today?
Oh, I seen a bunch of Boise hunters.
Oh.
And if they wouldn't have been there, we'd probably got some bear.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of talking and yelling.
Yeah, and spooked the bear.
Yeah. So a lot of bear going every direction.
Yeah.
Down, up, uphill, downhill, side hill.
What do you think we'll get with our 3 shells we have left?
Probably a porcupine.
Oh, what do you think, Stephen?
No, either a big buck or a bear. One or the other.
Okay, Stephen.
When I was tracking the blood for the bear, I jumped 3 pretty big bucks that we've seen before. They're 4-point and bigger.
Oh, yeah. You think we'll get them?
Maybe. Good chance.
There is a little steep spring right next to where we camp, so we found a little piece of bark and use it kind of as a pipe to pipe the water into our water jug. Then we'll take it back to camp and have all the water we need. Since we've run low on ammunition and we have got nothing so far, we decide to pack out and try another place. Dwayne sees a nice little creek, and so he digs the old gold pan out, and we'll see if we can find some gold here in the Snake River country. We see a few doe deer. Finally, it's about time we see a few deer. The deer population is in very bad shape this year, but at least we see a few does. There's just hardly any deer left. I guess the mountain lions and bear have eaten most of them, but finally we see a friendly old...
Good job.
Finally, I got a shot at a little buck deer, and down he went. We were hoping for a big buck, but we'll take anything at this time. And it's got a real big body. It'll make a whole lot of meat. So we're going to have some decent meat around to eat finally. It was beginning to look like we were going to get nothing, but at least we got this tender little buck.